Hi YouTube, Firefist Hayes here, ready to talk about a One Piece chapter. Now, this is my first chapter review. I actually haven't read the manga from the beginning. I started, after the supernovas were introduced. So, I think while they were having their battle with the pacifistas, I think I started reading there. So, I thought it'd be cool to, see some of the differences between the manga and the anime. Let's see what's some of the changes, and let's see what's going on. I'll probably do a chapter from the beginning and then a chapter from the end, and then just work forwards and backwards and like meet in the middle. And let's see if I can actually get to the end of this or catch up before it finishes. I don't know. I don't think I can, but hopefully, maybe we'll see. I know the first chapters are usually a long one. I think this one's like 60 pages or something. So, without further ado, let's get into this. So, color cover page, of course, and we have Luffy sitting here. He's, excited. Seagulls, a nice color page of Zoro. I guess he has I want to say, beer in his hand, I guess. I don't know. And Nami with some binoculars, just chilling, just the three of them. The first two members. So, that's kind of a spoiler of who's going to join. I don't know, maybe it was obvious or something, I don't know. Okay, so we see the first title. This one's called Romance Dawn. And we see Luffy here, just chilling in his boat. And, I don't know, it looks quite small, dingy, but we know how it gets better. And we've got the contents page, and so then it starts off with Goldie Roger's execution, and this got me really hyped when I was watching the anime. I can't remember if this was in the trailer or not. I think it was his speech of how he he had everything. He had wealth, fame, and all the power, and he was just like, well, if you want my treasure, you can have it, but you have to go get it. And everyone else just got crazy and went to go get his treasure. So that sounds pretty cool. That got me really hyped, as but then it does make you question why no one's found it yet. And later on, around the show, we see how I've read some crazy theories, like the One Piece is like this ultimate machine that kind of, I don't know, can change the world. And it's like, wow. It went from just being like, I don't know, money to just crazy things. But we'll get to that. Okay, so it starts off a small harbour village. We see some windmills, a giant cow with a big face, I guess. Okay, cool. So then we see red-haired Shank's boat, and it looks pretty cool. It's got like I don't know what that is, a dragon at the front, I guess. Okay, cool. So Shanks has been using this town as like a base for his operations, so I'm not sure what that means. I mean, later we see that he does actually pillage and steal things, so I guess he's just chilling there and he's stealing from other villages around or other islands around. I don't know, but I guess that just wasn't stated, so he actually seems a lot cooler than he needs to be led on right here. But I don't know. So Luffy is like standing on the front of the boat here, and he's everyone's looking at Luffy like, hey, what are you doing? And Kid Luffy here is he's standing there with a knife. Now, if you see any kid just standing in front of you with a knife, I feel like you should just automatically I don't know, just take it away from him. But I don't know, these guys don't have my philosophy, so they just, they're just still asking them, what are you doing? And whatever you're doing, just hurry up and do it. And so Luffy stabs himself in the face. Okay. Because he does this because he wants to prove that he's you know, he's cool and not cool enough, but he's, you know, brave enough to join Shanks's crew, and he's not afraid of pain. Which I guess you have to be if you want to be a pirate, because, you know, you're going to be fighting a lot, and you can't be, well, I don't know. I guess Usopp, you know, but Usopp has taken some pain, so I'll let him go. But yeah, so I guess they take Luffy back to the tavern, and they're all like, you know, celebrating for Luffy's bravery, for stabbing himself in the face. Okay, and you know, Luffy's there like saying it didn't hurt a bit, but he's like crying a little bit. You can see, and Shanks is yelling at him like, you know, that's stupid. don't do that. And Luffy is, you know, saying, you know, I want to be a pirate just like you. And you know, Shanks is laughing at saying, you know, you can't be a pirate, you know, we call you Anchor because, you know, you can't swim very well. And, you know, being a pirate, you're going to be out in the water, you have to swim, you know, what if you get kicked overboard or, I don't know, the ship sinks or something. Which was my first thought when I was watching this show as well. But the anime started a lot differently. This seems like it's starting from a flashback in the anime. As well as, I think, well, I think in the anime it was actually said Luffy was actually a good swimmer, and they were making fun of him, saying that a good swimmer doesn't mean that you'll be a good pirate. But yeah. So anyway, Luffy tells him that he's not just a, you know, it doesn't matter about him swimming because he's a strong fighter and his punches are as strong as a pistol. Okay. Well, so, and Shanks, you know, he gave the face that I'd be giving to a kid if they told me that, you know, like, a pistol, huh? And he's like, what, you doubting me? And, you know, all of Shanks' friends, they're there like, oh, don't worry about it, Luffy, you know, it's just you know, just have some fun, relax, you know, pirates always have fun, so just, you know, just relax and chill. Luffy's like, you know, wow, that's amazing, you know, Luffy's all impressed, and, you know, clearly he wants to, you know, join them. And, you know, Shanks is giving the kind of like the father that wants better for his kid. Like, you know, like I don't know if any of you guys have kids, but if you know, if you're like in a position where you just have to kind of do anything for your family, like, you know, you have to get into, you know, say drugs, for example, you have to get into drugs, or you have to live a bad life, but for the sake of your family. I don't think Shanks is doing that, but it's to kind of feel like, you know, you don't want to get your kids into that. You want them to kind of grow up to be like, you know, upstanding citizens and things like that. You don't want them to follow your path. You just want them to kind of, you know, grow up and be better than you in a sense. And that's why I'm feeling from Shanks here. He doesn't want Luffy to join him. Because of that reason, I think he wants him to be better than that. Or at least, not in that sense at all. I think we're going to find out later that Shanks just wants him to be better than him in a pirate way. So, but if that's the case, I don't know why Shanks just doesn't train him. That'd be pretty cool. Like, you know, Shanks trains Luffy. Or maybe that's going to happen later on in the in the show. That'd be pretty cool. But anyway, so Shanks' crew is trying to convince Shanks to let him join him, but then Shanks turns that around quite quickly by saying, you know, okay, we'll take Luffy, but one of you guys have to miss out on the next adventure. And they were like, sorry, kid, you're on your own. So, you know, Luffy's like, I thought you guys were on my side, but they were like, screw you, kid. You know, I'm not missing out on the next adventure or whatever. So, you know, Shanks just tells him, you know, you're a kid, so, you know, don't worry about it. Yeah, at least give it 10 years, you know. And Shanks is, you know, Luffy's like, I'm not a kid. You know, like a kid would say, you know, I'm not a kid. And Shanks, Shanks goes, here, have some milk. And Luffy says thanks. And then Shanks proceeds to laugh at him because he says that, you know, the pirates wouldn't drink milk. But I guess Shanks hasn't been to the New World yet because milk actually heals broken bones and restores teeth, apparently. So, Shanks, you're actually missing out here, man. Like, if anything, I'd say you bring milk with you everywhere you go, man. Like, damn. You know, that should be in every medical kit. Like, Jesus, man. But yeah. So Luffy's upset. He's been tricked, and the first mate of Shanks comes up to Luffy, and well, he doesn't come up to him. He's just sitting there and just mentions to Luffy, like, "Hey, you know, the captain's just trying to, you know, save you here. You know, you're too young to be running around with us. Uh, you know, there's a lot of things we have to do, and you know, we can't always defend you all the time." Is what I'm kind of getting from his speech about. Because this is what I mean. He says, you know, they have duties like pillaging, hostage taking, heavy drinking. So Shanks has clearly done all this, but he's just kind of they're portraying it like they're just like sweeping it under the rug. Like, yeah. The anime definitely like ignored that scene completely, but making Shanks seem a lot cooler than he actually is here. So yeah. So he's saying, the captain's just trying to look after you. And Luffy disagrees. He says that the captain just wants to make fun of him. And and of course the captain just makes Shanks is just making fun of him as he's saying that. So first mate is like, well, maybe he has a point. But anyway, in the midst of all this, Makino comes in. So she is the owner of this tavern, and she is bringing a barrel of beer over to the guys, and she's looking pretty cool. I think a lot of people are saying that she's actually like Shanks actually comes back and like has a kid with this lady. I can see that because I think she actually does have a kid in the after the time skip, and yeah, people are saying that that's Shanks's, and there's a whole theory about that. That's pretty cool. Like Luffy's gonna come and give that kid the hat, which I would personally love. I'd be like, whoa, that's pretty awesome. But yeah, I really like her. She's always nice. She's like a mum figure to Luffy because I guess Luffy's mum, I don't know, just disappeared. We don't know. We don't talk about her. So, but yeah, I like her. She's like Luffy's mum kind of figure. Like, Luffy, you need to make sure you eat stuff and take it easy. And she offers to make Luffy something to eat. And Luffy goes, "I'll put it on my treasure tab." My treasure tab. And Shanks is like, "Oh, don't swindle the lady." And Luffy goes, "Well, when I become a big time pirate, I'll have lots of treasure and I'll pay her back." And Makino's like, that's I'll celebrate when that happens. And they have a good time with that. Oh, that's can you imagine, like, you just go to a bar, put on my treasure tab. Man, the way you'd be thrown out. But he's a kid, so they just, they let it go. So anyway, Luffy asks Shanks, how long are you staying here? And Shanks basically says they've been there for about a year, so they're going to go on a few more voyages, and then they're going to leave for good. So I'm assuming that he's going to the Grand Line now, or the New World maybe? Like maybe he was in the Grand Line, came back, took a break, and then went to, and is about to go into the New World. I'm assuming he's like as strong as Luffy is like currently in the story, because for what we're about to see later on. So maybe like he actually is like at the Grand Line, say at the archipelago, Shibundi, and just like Luffy took a break to kind of get stronger. That's what he's kind of doing, taking a bit of a vacation to kind of before he goes into the New World. So that's fine, I guess. So he's like, that's the kind of preparations they're kind of doing, because I imagine it's easier to make preparations, in like where are they? I think the East Blue, rather than in Grand Line where everything's probably sky high expensive, and I mean you probably get better stuff, but it's probably easier here because everyone's weaker. But yeah, so Luffy's I guess he's being sad about them leaving, but then he says that by the time he comes back his third time, he's gonna learn how to swim. And Shanks is like, well, that's cool, do whatever you like. So just then, someone bursts in through the door, and this guy is like probably like the biggest douche since I don't know, Bellamy, I guess. Like, well, we don't know how bad Bellamy will get in the manga. Well, I don't know anyway, but we'll see. This guy, everyone knows that kind of guy. Like, oh, everyone make way. I'm, coming through here, and he's like the scourge of the mountains. Now, we don't know how strong bandits are in this show because, well, maybe we do later on in the manga, but in the anime, we don't know how strong bandits really are because we mostly focus on, kind of the sea battles. But, this guy, he claims to be the scourge of the mountains, so we don't know how good of a title that is, but from what we're about to see, it doesn't seem that great. So anyway, so you call yourselves pirates, huh? So he, looking around, and I guess he says he hasn't seen a pirate before, and he doesn't think they look that impressive. They don't look that impressive to me either, so I probably have to agree with him. So, he comes up to the bar with his guys behind him, who don't have eyes, but that's not important. So he goes to Makino, we're mountain bandits, and we want some food. I mean, not some food, some beer or some liquor. And Makino says we actually ran out. The pirates kind of, they drank it all. And he doesn't believe them. He doesn't believe her, which is, I mean, I can understand that because I guess he knows he's being a douche. So if I wouldn't blame Makino here for lying and saying we don't have any. Just leave. Yeah, but it turns out it's actually true. They don't have any. And Shanks, he tries to do some goodwill and give him one bottle of, I guess, wine. And he says, "Here, have this. We're sorry that we drank it all. As a form of goodwill." But I mean, I can understand from this like douchebag's perspective. I mean, he's like, we have like a whole like kind of gang here, and you give us one bottle. There's no way one bottle is gonna like satisfy me and my guys here. So he breaks the bottle in Shanks's hand and kind of spills it all over his face. And everyone's watching. Makino looks shocked. The bandits look like they're getting off on this, and the pirates don't look that impressed. And Luffy is eating the gum fruit. I guess everyone was distracted by the bandits to notice that Luffy was actually doing that. So then this guy, he basically says that I have an 8 million berry bounty, which is stronger than Alvida, I believe. I think she was like a 5, but I'm not 100% sure. So I guess a mountain bandit means something, and Shanks is more concerned about the mess than his bounty. So he asks for a rag from Makino, while this guy is I don't know, jerking off to himself like, oh, my bounty, man, my bounty's high. And so because Shanks is ignoring him, this guy I guess he gets sad and he takes out his sword and I guess it's weird what he does here. I guess he slashes the bar, but some drinks behind him. Well, I guess they must be empty bottles because they said they had no more. So I guess he's just destroying the bar and some bottles, and it looks like a plate here as well. So he does that. From what we see later on, I would question why Shanks didn't just get up and beat the crap out of this guy, because isn't Makino his friend? So, we know he defends his friends, so get up and, attacking her bar, her party's bar, as it's called apparently. And, so I'd assume he'd defend her, but I guess not. So, I guess they're not friends. I don't know. So, this guy leaves, I guess, because he thinks they're cowards. He's sad that they have no beer. Makino goes to save Shank. Well, not save him, but see if he's okay. All of Shanks's friends, they start laughing. And, Shanks starts laughing as well. Which confused me, like I said, because I thought that, that he would defend Makino's bar, because I guess he must have ruined the counter at least or something. But, so he starts laughing anyway, I guess because no one was hurt, physically, their bodies weren't hurt. But Luffy's, he's sad because he thinks that, you should have, stand up to these guys because, they're just, treating you like shit. And, Shanks doesn't agree, and he thinks, like, when you've grown up, you understand that, it's, I guess, you shouldn't just fight random people. Yeah, I try not to either, but it's for different reasons, but I don't know. So, Shanks is trying to talk to Luffy, but Luffy wants to walk away, so, to apparently find a, a better role model. So, who knows, maybe Luffy would have gone out and found a Marine and, would have, become a Marine, but I don't know. So, Shanks actually grabs Luffy's arm to stop him from leaving, but Luffy continues to walk off because his arm is actually stretching here. And some of the faces are like quite funny here, but everyone's like shocked, like, what? His arm stretched! And, so this is of course because he ate the gum fruit. This big guy here, I don't know his name, I can't remember it. But, I don't know, he hasn't done anything in the manga specifically important yet, so I haven't remembered his name. But, he shows Luffy Luffy a picture of the fruit that he ate, and I guess, Luffy says, yeah, I ate it. Checks the treasure box it was in. It's empty. Yeah, Luffy ate the gum fruit. So this is how he ate the gum fruit. So that's interesting. So Shanks explains the gum fruit, that, he'll never be able to swim because of it. They're shocked, and then it cuts over to I guess the next day, or I don't know, maybe later on in the day, or I don't know. So the next scene we just cut away. And Luffy goes to the fishmonger because he wants some fish. He has a basket in his hand, so I'm not sure what's going on here. Did someone send him to get the fish? I'm not sure who he's living with here either. Is he living with Makino, or is he living with the mayor, or I don't know. Maybe he is living with his mum here and we just don't see her. But I don't know. But anyway, so the fishmonger, he knows that Luffy eats the rubber fruit, so I guess the whole town knows that Luffy's just kind of like this freak in this town. But Luffy's he's quite happy about it, as a kid would be. I mean, it's a pretty cool power. I'd be quite happy if I had that power. So then the mayor comes up and someone says good morning to him, and he completely ignores them, so it makes me think that this guy's an asshole, but he looks at Luffy and he says that he, shouldn't be proud of being a freak, and he should, be good, I guess, and Luffy doesn't feel like listening to him. But funny enough, the mayor actually says, the pirates are all bad except for the captain. The captain is good, but the rest of them are bad. Which makes me think that maybe Shanks did something for them. Maybe Shanks saved their town or something at one point, and he likes Shanks, but maybe the others weren't there, so that he still doesn't like the others. I don't know. So that's interesting. So, we see Luffy and Makino there. They're just kind of, chilling at the bar, just having a chat. No one else is here, which makes me think Luffy is actually living here. Or just because it seems like maybe the bar's closed or something, or it's just opened, so no one's actually come in yet. And so Luffy's like, he just came downstairs and just sat at the bar. Because my dad used to run a bar, and when I stayed over there, it's kind of the same kind of thing, I just come downstairs, sit at the bar, and, Dad would, just be, getting ready. But anyway, so, the Shanks pirates have, I guess, left, for one of their voyages, and, Makino asks if he misses them, and Luffy says no, because they're all wimpy. And Mikino says, basically says, oh, sometimes it takes more courage not to fight. And Luffy's like, this is a man thing, and manly men do manly men things, and men all over the men, and I don't know, so Luffy is, he's saying that, a man should stand up for himself. A real man needs to, elf man approves because a real man does this. And Makino says, oh, okay, well, fair enough. She just seems like, the kind of girl that, she doesn't want to fight anyone. She just agrees with whatever anyone says. So then a mysterious figure walks in to the bar. That makes me think it just first opened because no one's here. Or maybe she just doesn't have a lot of customers. I don't know. So, this guy, this guy makes me think that he says this every time he enters a building. He's like, make way for the terror. I'm like, what? Really, dude? Really, bro? But no. Okay, so, he does that. He comes in. And, he's like, oh, no pirates today, huh? Smells better. And so I guess he's alluding to pirate stink. Which I would assume so, because they don't have showers on their boats, or I don't know, maybe they do, like in the one, in some of the boats we've seen in One Piece. But I would assume that I don't know, some weird Frankie boat. But anyway, so they say that they're in the area, so they stop by. They all take a seat, and they say that we're customers, and that they want some drinks. Then it cuts over to, I guess, later on that day. And Makino, I guess, she ran over to what I assume to be the mayor's house. And I guess to do that, she had to, I don't know, throw her handkerchief headband on the floor and run over there. So, the mayor asks what's wrong. She goes, oh, the mountain bandits. So she had to take off her handkerchief in order to do that. So, these guys are interested in Luffy because, they're punching and kicking him, but it's not hurting him. Luffy's body seems quite tough anyway. I imagine he'd probably be hurt, but he wouldn't show it even if he didn't eat the rubber fruit. But yeah, I guess the rubber fruit is defending him from these blows. Which is interesting because I don't think that it was actually shown in the anime that punches and kicks actually just don't affect him, or at least it wasn't said, or maybe I've forgotten or something. But it's good to know because I remember the manga used to say it when I started reading it, but I remember not reading it in the anime, so I was like, what? Anyway, so some villagers, they want to help Luffy, but they don't want to get injured because these guys are, they have swords and things, and I guess they're just being, a-holes. They're like, oh, they just think they're tough, and I mean, they're beating up a kid here, and they like thinking that they're tough. But, whatever, so, Luffy's sad, and I guess he's lost a tooth here, which is interesting. Because I would assume his teeth would have turned rubber. Did he always have a missing tooth here, or, I don't know. Well, I didn't, well, whatever, so, so this guy is interested, like I said, in Luffy with his rubber powers, and he kind of throws him on the floor. Luffy bounces, of course. And this guy is deciding, like, he's going to actually sell Luffy to, I guess, a circus or a freak show, because he thinks he'll get some money for him. Luffy picks up a stick from, I don't know where, and, he goes to slap him in the face. But of course, Luffy's like, half his height. The guy just picks up his foot and I guess crushes his face. And, this guy was, he's just saying like, oh, I wasn't doing anything. I was, just minding my own business. And, you came and, did an offensive thing. And he asks Luffy to apologize. Now, the townspeople are just kind of watching this, which is quite sad that they're just, watching them beat up a kid. But I understand because it's like, what can they really do at this point? I mean, they all have swords, it looks like. or at least he does. And I imagine they've at least had a couple fights in their career as mountain bandits, whereas these guys have debatably haven't had a fight since, like, preschool. It's like a regular Joe here. So there's no way that, these two would actually win against, these guys. But it's sad, but, I understand where they're coming from. So the mayor comes in, and he's like, he comes with Makino, still missing her handkerchief headband, and says, I'll give you some money if you just let, Luffy go. He gets on his hands and knees. And, this guy, Higura, I think his name is, he says, that the mayor actually knows how the world works, assuming, like, he was offering money to let Luffy go. But this guy, this makes this guy look so sad, man. He's like, well, I'm happy you know how the world works, man, but it's too late. This kid, he did something unforgivable. He attacked me and called me names. Oh. This guy is like so pathetic. He's like, a 5-year-old man. He attacked me. Like, it really hurt. Like, oh my god. Well, so anyway. Sorry. So this guy is sad that Luffy was calling him names. Well, it's a good thing he didn't meet adult Luffy, because he can't get anyone's names right anyway. So, this guy is, he's calling Luffy names as well, calling him a freak. And Luffy calls him a mountain macaque? I don't know what that is, but he calls him something, I guess. And so this guy, he says, you know what, I've had enough. I'm not gonna sell you, I'm gonna kill you. So he unleashes his sword to, I guess, kill Luffy. The mayor's trying to defend Luffy, of course, because, Luffy's part of his town and that's his job. Look after the citizens, no matter what Luffy's a good kid, he might be troublesome, but he's a good kid. The mayor knows that, and, he wants to help him. It's part of his job, I guess, and, right then, just before, I guess, he lowers his sword, Shanks shows up. That's cool. Well, this must be... this is like 60 chapters. I'm on, like, chapter 30. I think I might have to split this into 2 videos. But anyway, so... Oh, it's you, mountain bandits, again. So, Shanks, he comes in wearing his cloak. And, he says, hey, Luffy, I thought your punch was as powerful as a pistol. And, Luffy's like, oh, not now. And, Higura is here, and he's like, not being impressed by the pirates. And Shanks walks past, a silhouette Makino and the mayor. At first I didn't know who these two were, but I'm assuming that's who he walked past here. And, I thought they were actually, like, 2 of his men. But no, I think it's, Makino and the mayor there. So one of these bandits, they put a gun to, Shanks's face, and they're like, get out of here before, things get ugly. And Shanks says, you're risking your life by putting a gun at me. And he gets shot in the face by, I don't know, Santa Claus on his day off, I guess. And no, I think his name's Lucky Roo, actually, now I remember. No, so he gets shot in the face by this guy, and he always has some meat in his hand or some kind of food, so that's quite funny. So he shoots this guy in the face, he's dead. Well, it doesn't matter, we never see him again. And it just makes these guys seem even worse, because next they go on to say, what have you done? That wasn't fair. You shot him when, he wasn't looking. I was like, what? What is going on? Like, you guys are bandits, man. If you're prepared to kill people, you should be prepared to get killed, man. Like, what is going on right now? Not like, we weren't ready here. You know, like, oh, whatever. So these guys aren't bandits, man. They're just, I don't know, thugs that, just left their mum's basement for the day and get together in like these organized groups, and they're like, we're the bandits, Anyway, whatever. The pirates are like, basically saying, shut up. Don't have time for you. And, Shanks, claims that they're pirates. And, I don't know, Bob. Yes, Bob. Bob comes up and he says, this was none of your business. I guess, I don't know why he says that, but Shanks basically says, I'm gonna defend my friends. I don't care what you do to me, you can pour drinks on me, throw food, whatever, but once you hurt my friends, then it's personal. So that's cool, but then, like I said, I wonder why he didn't defend Mikino's bar, so I guess they're not friends. Well, I don't know. If he did, have a kid with her after the time skip, maybe they'd become more than friends, or I don't know, friends with benefits. I don't know. But yeah, Luffy sees Luffy's touch that Shanks called him his friend, because I'm actually quite questioning here, like how they actually met. Like, did Shanks just come to town one day and Luffy was like really impressed, and he was just like, hey, let me join you or something like that, and Shanks was just like, get out of here, and Luffy just kept coming back and back and back and back, and he just he became from this annoying kid that just kept asking to join to the regular kid, and that's just always there when they come, I guess. But yeah, so he's touched that they called Shanks called him a friend. Higuro is not impressed by Shanks' speech, so he starts laughing, and he orders his bandits to to kill Shanks and his guys, and they're running like I said, like a bunch of like kids that have just left their mum's basement after like playing World of Warcraft for like 5 years, and they think they're like a level 100 like swordsman or something, and they're running like so you can imagine how well that goes for them. And so the first mate, he comes in and he's like, I'll take care of this. So so he takes out his cigarette and puts it out in this guy's face, possibly his eye, I'm not sure, because he's covering his face when he goes down, so I'm assuming it's his eye, but it might just be like in between his eyes or his face or something. But anyway, so the rest of these guys come, and what made me laugh when I first saw this, because he did this in the anime as well, was he's holding what I assume to be a shotgun, and he instead of holding it to shoot them, he's holding it like a baseball bat, and he's like about to like beat the crap out of these guys. Not shoot them, but just hit them with this gun. And so I don't know. I guess it maybe like when Shanks first met him, he actually had a baseball bat, but then I don't know. He got to the stage where he actually had to use like a long range attack, because I don't know, maybe he went to Skypiea and he fought that asshole with the the flashing guns, and he maybe not, obviously that maybe he fought his dad or something, the flash gun guy, and he had to figure out a way to hit him, and he was just like, oh, give me a shotgun, I'll use this as both my bat and my shoot from afar weapon. But anyway, so he beats them all single-handedly. That's very impressive. But then I don't know, it's not very because if my theory is correct that these guys are like where Luffy is now in the story, by now I'm saying like where fighting after the time skip, basically after the 2-year time skip of the War of the Best. It's not really impressive that these guys took out I want to say like 20 guys in, you know, the East Blue. But whatever. So he claims that they need a battleship to, you know, take them on, which, you know, further supports my theory, so that's cool. But Luffy's impressed, and this guy is, you know, he's shocked that they're so strong. And Shanks says that there's a price on his head. Now, that makes me think that he was actually going to bring this guy in and get some money, which is cool because then, you know, he could, you know, get more of his operations going because he would have more money. Because 8 million is, well, I don't know, it's, I assume it's a lot because, I mean, 300 million, like, was like loads of money. So I'm not sure what 8 million, like, what that would be equivalent to. Like 8 million is like loads to like to in our world, but I don't know if how berries convert to like to our world money. So this guy, he throws a he throws a smoke bomb here, and I don't know why, but he takes Luffy and he just leaves, and I guess everyone in his crew just got up and left too from the panel we see here, but Shanks is freaking out because you know, he's worried about Luffy. But you know, the first mate, I don't know, he's happy that Shanks is worried about Luffy, I guess, from his expression there, but I don't know what that means. Maybe Shanks was like a really evil douchebag at one point, and he was like slowly changing, and you know, Luffy, like the fact that he cares about Luffy now means like he's, you know, getting back to how he used to be, like when we saw him, like when he was chilling with Buggy. So yeah, anyway, we see this Hagura guy with Luffy, and somehow he managed to get all the way in the middle of the sea for some reason. And he, this guy, he's basically saying, like, no one would expect to find a mountain bandit out at sea. This guy just seems like the biggest troll, like, you know, he's like the weakest guy, obviously, but anyway, so this guy is out at sea in a little dinghy with Luffy, and he says he brought him as a hostage, I guess in case they found him before he managed to escape, or Cat caught him or something. So, I guess he's assumed that he's escaped, and he's like, oh, I don't need you anymore, so he kicks Luffy overboard. And he's like, I've already killed 56 people who were foolish enough to make me mad. 56, like, dude, it's kind of like Hunter x Hunter, where Kurapika was like, dude, well, I think they were doing this like exam arc, and basically this one guy was like pretending to be this badass, and he was like, I've killed like, you know, 20 people, I'm awesome, man, and you know, I'm part of this elite team, and like one of the main characters was like, dude, you are not part of this elite team, you're too weak, and also they've killed so many people, they can't count how many people they've killed. You know, so you know, you're just looking like pretty weak here, but I guess he is the first villain. So anyway, Luffy's been kicked overboard, he calls him scum and possibly swears at him here. I don't know what's going on, this kind of weird font there, I guess. So he's laughing because he kicked a child overboard to drown, and I guess he's debating, I guess he's guessing Luffy can't swim. But anyway, so, because I mean, I'm sure he doesn't know that Luffy ate the gum fruit. Or maybe he does know, I don't know. But anyway, so, then it goes into a flashback showing why Luffy actually attacked this guy, and it was because he was making fun of Shanks, and, you know, I guess Luffy went from, you know, not caring about Shanks to, you know, going back to admiring Shanks and saying, you know, stop making fun of my hero. Which is good, because we know Luffy, he likes to defend his friends, and, you know, he considers Shanks a friend, and he, you know, wants to defend him. So this guy's still laughing, and right then we see a shadowy figure appear behind him, which it looks like a really silhouetted what's his name? The fat guy from Full Metal Alchemist, the Gluttony. It was like a really silhouetted Gluttony from behind, a really fat, big-headed silhouetted Gluttony from comes up from behind Higura here and eats the boat and him. Well, that explains why we didn't see him anymore. But anyway, so then the sea beast. It turns out it's a sea beast also. The sea beast looks at Luffy, who's drowning, of course, and the sea beast goes to eat Luffy. And then Shanks appears somehow. I want to say he swam over there, but I don't know. So he, he grabs Luffy, looks at the beast, and he's like, "Get out of here," which makes me think he used Haki here. The intimidation, King's Haki. So in that case, he, but maybe it might have been like, I don't, you know how just before the Archipelago arc where Luffy was fighting that Sanji lookalike, that big guy, and he made the bull kind of, subservient to him. I don't know if it's something like that. So, maybe Shanks was at that level. I'm not sure. So I want to say he's like in between the two. So the sea beast, gets scared and I guess leaves, and Luffy's crying. And you'd think he was crying because, he almost died by getting eaten by the thingy. But by the giant sea beast. But it turns out he's actually crying because Shanks lost his arm, and Shanks doesn't care. He's like, it's a small price to pay for you being safe. And I think Luffy understands now that the sea is dangerous and he needs to be strong. To survive, not only survive it, but if he wants to live his lifestyle. So Luffy, so it's a good lesson for Luffy, which is pretty good, impactful. I like it. And Luffy, so it makes Luffy not do, I don't want to say be as reckless, but at least it gives Luffy a reason to train and get stronger, so he can go back to his reckless ways. So Shanks is about to leave for good now. To, like I said, I assume this is the new world he's going to now. I say that as well because Whitebeard comments like, "Oh, when you came back from the East Blue losing an arm, people were like, what the hell?" So Whitebeard has already met Shanks before, and he was saying like, "Whoa, like what the hell?" Like Shanks has already made a name for himself. So makes me think like, oh, so maybe Shanks is like, at that point where Luffy was, so he like the upcoming rookie, so to speak. So Luffy says he's not going to ask to go with Shanks this time. He's gonna like make his own pirate crew. And Shanks says, there's no way that Luffy will become a pirate. And Luffy says, yeah, he will. And you know what? He's gonna get a better crew than Shanks, and he's gonna become king of the pirates. And Shanks Shanks gives him the straw hat that Gold Roger gave him. I guess we don't really know, but we assume so. And Shanks gives him this hat, and he says it's because Luffy reminds him of him when he was a kid. So that'd be pretty cool. I'd really like to see that. Like a flashback of Shanks being a kid, but maybe we'll see that later. So Shanks asks him to give the hat back to him someday. So that's pretty cool. So it's giving him, because obviously Shanks is gonna be in the sea. So if he wants to give the hat back, Luffy has to go out into the sea to give it to him. So it's kind of giving Luffy a reason to go, well, more of a reason to go out and become a pirate and to get strong, because Shanks is gonna be well, I guess he don't know that he's gonna be a Yonko, but he's gonna be quite powerful. So he's gonna be in like the far reaches of the Grand Line there, the New World, definitely. If that's where I think he's going right now. So Luffy will have to be strong if he wants to give him his hat back. But I think he actually goes back to this island later anyway, so maybe Luffy could have just waited there. But anyway, so like I think like 10 or 11 years he comes back, and that's where he gets the kid from, I guess. But I don't know. So anyway, they leave, Shanks and his crew. Then they have a 10-year time skip. We see Makino, the mayor, and some other a-holes. This guy who I guess he's like a writer, he looks like, and this guy looks like a builder. I want to say this guy is an asshole, or oh wait, maybe this guy is a fishmonger actually. Never mind. Anyway, so we see Makino and the mayor, and Makino's looking like I don't know. I think her hair grew. Anyway, so she says, they're seeing Luffy off basically because he's out now. 10 years have passed. He's off to become a pirate. And, Luffy says it's a good day to sail out to sea. He's off in a little dinghy, and he meets the monster that took Shanks' arm. I think. And I assume, anyway. And so he launches his signature Gum Gum pistol and punches it in the face. And takes it out, and it literally flies. I guess this is like a full cover page, this thing. I mean, like a full, like double page spread. And like the creature, like literally blasts out of the ocean here. And so we see how big it is. So that's pretty cool. Luffy takes it out in one punch. And Luffy claims, first things first, needs to go get a crew. And he's going to need a pirate flag. He's also going to need a big boat and lots of strength. And he needs to look after that damn hat. Anyway, so he also needs food, water, and never mind. He'll figure that out on his own. Anyway, and he claims he's going to be king of the pirates. So he leaves with a dinghy, a bag, and a barrel. So I assume that bag is filled with food and a little bit of money, and I guess this barrel is water, possibly grape juice. Okay, so yeah, so it says Luffy's leaving. We see a cool kind of art of Shanks, first mate, this kind of big guy here, and Kid Luffy. And then it goes on to show Luffy kind of leaning on the barrel of his paddle, and he's like, enjoying the nice weather. And then a whirlpool appears, and Luffy is like, he's like analyzing the situation, and he comes up with like the most nonchalant, like he's like, well, there's a whirlpool, but it's too bad I can't swim. But wait, it doesn't matter because even if I could swim, I'd still drown. So I guess, it works out. Too bad that there's a whirlpool there, though. I guess I don't know. So that was quite funny, and that's where the chapter ends. So that was actually pretty good. I really like that. So like One Piece is my favorite manga anime of all time. I think what I really like about it is or I really like about anime like this in general, but One Piece does it here. So like team building, I really like when there's loads of characters and like the main character has to kind of pick a team to kind of put together, and you don't know who else is going to like join other teams or who else is going to become the rival team and whatnot. Stuff like that, I really like that. And I also really like when characters start off from nothing, like how Luffy is here. He literally has a dinghy and debatably a bag full of food, and I'm not even sure if he has any money here, and a barrel. And we know, if he wants to become a big league, pirate, he's going to need a bigger boat. He's going to need a stronger crew. He's going to need, gallons of food and water to, feed his crew and whatnot. He's going to need, a cook, a magician, and person to fix his boat and stuff like that. So it's really cool. So yeah, that was the first review. Hopefully many more. See if we can get to the end of this. And okay, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think. And yeah, see you next time.